Welcome to Mystery Chronicles, where we dive deep into some of the most intriguing and mysterious stories from around the world. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Some treasures are lost to time, their stories fading into the quiet pages of history. Others vanish in a storm of conflict, leaving behind a mystery that echoes for generations. The Amber Room belongs to the second kind. It was a chamber so magnificent, so breathtaking in its beauty that those who saw it called it an eighth wonder. It was not just a room, it was a masterpiece of art and human ingenuity, a space that seemed to capture the very warmth of the sun. Its sudden disappearance at the end of the Second World War created a legend that continues to fascinate and puzzle us to this day. The story is a tapestry woven with threads of fact, myth, and enduring hope. This story will guide you through the known history of this incredible creation. We will explore its origins, marvel at its design. We will follow its journey from one great European power to another. Then we will confront the chaos of war that swept it from public view. The tale is filled with conflicting reports, secret searches, tantalizing clues that have emerged over the past 80 years. To understand the loss, you must first appreciate what was lost. The Amber Room was not, as its name might simply suggest, made entirely of solid amber. It was a far more complex and delicate work of art. The design was based on a series of large wall panels, each intricately decorated with live tree resin, which we know as amber. This material, often called the gold of the North, was carefully selected for its color and translucence. Artisans did not use massive blocks. Instead, they cut shaped, polished thousands of thin amber tiles, fitting them together like a magnificent, luminous jigsaw puzzle, to form mosaics, garlands, royal symbols. The creation of these panels was a monumental task, demanding immense skill and patience. The amber pieces were backed onto wooden frames, creating a surface that glowed from within when light struck it. But the amber was only part of the story. These radiant panels were set into larger frameworks adorned with gold leaf. The Amber Room didn't remain in Prussia for long. Its fate was intertwined with the shifting alliances of early 18th century Europe. In 1716, Tsar Peter the Great of Russia visited Prussia. He was on a grand tour, forging alliances. The Prussian king, who was at the time Friedrich Wilhelm I, a ruler focused on military strength rather than artistic extravagance. When the Tsar saw the Amber Room, he was utterly captivated by its beauty and craftsmanship. He openly admired it. The Prussian king, eager to secure an alliance against Sweden, saw a diplomatic opportunity. Friedrich Wilhelm gifted the entire Amber Room to Peter the Great. It was an exchange of epic proportions. In return, the Tsar sent a number of his famously tall soldiers, the Potsdam Giants. The massive panels were carefully dismantled, packed into crates, transported overland to St. Petersburg. The act cemented the Prusso-Russian alliance and began the room's Russian chapter. Upon arrival, it was initially installed in the Winter Palace. Tsarina Elizabeth, who was Peter's daughter, chose a new home. In 1755, she ordered the move to what is the Catherine Palace in Tsarskoye Selo, the imperial summer residence just outside St. Petersburg. For 2 centuries, the Amber Room had dazzled visitors in the Catherine Palace. But its peaceful existence was shattered by the outbreak of World War II. In June 1941, Nazi Germany launched its invasion of the Soviet Union. As the German army was advancing rapidly toward Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, the Soviet curators at the palace faced a desperate situation. They made frantic efforts to evacuate the palace's countless treasures. Many statues were buried in the ground, and smaller artworks were packed and shipped east, away from the front lines. But the Amber Room presented a unique and terrible problem for them. The curators attempted to dismantle the delicate amber panels. Over the decades, the amber had become dry and brittle. When they tried to remove the panels, the fragile material began to crumble. Fearing they would destroy the room completely in their haste, they made a fateful decision. Instead of taking it down, they tried to hide it in plain sight. They covered the precious walls with a layer of simple wallpaper, hoping the invading German soldiers would overlook it. mistaking it for an ordinary, undecorated room. It was a desperate gamble born of a lack of time and options. The gamble did not pay off. The Nazis knew exactly what they were looking for. They had detailed knowledge of Europe's great art treasures, and the AM Burr Room, a masterpiece of Prussian origin, was high on the list. In the whirlwind of theories and legends that surrounds the AM Burr Room, it is crucial to anchor ourselves to the solid ground of established facts. These are the points supported by historical documents, photographs, credible eyewitness accounts. First and foremost, the existence and the extraordinary nature of the AM Burr Room are beyond dispute. We have numerous pre-war photographs, black and white and early color, documenting its appearance in the Catherine Palace. Detailed inventories and descriptions confirm its contents and splendor. Russian sources, German sources. It was not a myth. It was a tangible masterpiece. The second undisputed fact: removal by German forces during the war. Official German military records reports from Nazi art seizure units detail the disassembly in 1941. These documents confirm that the panels were packed and transported to Königsberg. Furthermore, we have post-war testimony from Soviet curators who witnessed the disassembly and from German soldiers who participated in it. The room was successfully installed in Königsberg Castle and was even featured in German newspapers and magazines in 1942. Where facts end, myths begin. The story of the AM Burr Room is rich with them. One of the most persistent myths is that the room was completely destroyed by fire in Königsberg Castle. The fact is, while the castle did indeed burn, there is not definitive proof that the packed AM Burr crates were still inside at the time. Some witness accounts suggest the crates were moved to the castle's cellars, which might have offered protection from the fires above. Other conflicting reports claim the room was moved out of the city entirely before the final battle. The total destruction theory is plausible, but it remains an unproven assumption, not a certainty. Another popular legend claims the Nazis loaded the AM Burr Room onto a ship, the Wilhelm Gustloff, which was sunk in the Baltic Sea by a Soviet submarine in January 1945. This theory is compellingly dramatic, imagining the treasure lost beneath the waves. The fact, however, is that while the sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff was a real and terrible maritime disaster, there is no credible evidence or shipping manifest that places the AM Burr Room's crates on board. Extensive searches of the shipwreck have yielded nothing. In the end, the story of the AM Burr Room rests on two clear and powerful truths. The first is the firm fact of its existence and its historical importance. It was a real, unparalleled masterpiece of Baroque art. Prussian craftsmanship, Russian imperial grandeur. Its beauty is not in question. It was documented in photographs and in detailed descriptions. Its loss is one of the greatest cultural casualties of the Second World War. The second truth is that, despite 80 years of searching and speculation, no one can say for certain what happened to it after it was packed away in Königsberg in 1944. Its final fate remains one of the 20th century's most profound mysteries. Many myths have arisen: destruction by fire, sinking in the Baltic Sea, concealment in a secret mine. But they remain myths, lacking hard evidence. The theory of complete destruction in Königsberg's fires is the simplest explanation, yet it too lacks conclusive proof. The absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, so the door stays slightly open for other possibilities. This uncertainty fueled relentless searches for generations. Today, the spirit of the AM Burr Room lives on in two ways. First, the magnificent replica in the Catherine Palace. Completed in 2003 after more than 2 decades of painstaking Russian craftsmanship, the reconstruction lets the world experience the room's splendor. It testifies to cultural resilience and determination. Though a copy, it's a stunning achievement honoring the original. It ensures the eighth wonder will not be forgotten. Second, the continuing search. The mystery endures, and with it, hope. Historians sift newly declassified archives. Explorers, with modern technology, launch occasional new searches. While the odds of finding the entire room are slim, uncovering fragments is possible, or finding a definitive document explaining its fate. That possibility keeps the quest alive. The AM Burr Room is more than a lost treasure. It's an enduring story of beauty. loss, and the unyielding human desire to find the truth. The search continues, and we continue to hope.
Thank you for watching Mystery Chronicles. Please like, comment, and subscribe.